Welcome to Nest Realty and Facebook live stream. It's our first time on this end of one of these things, so first time for everything, I suppose, but welcome. Wanted to just take a few minutes to introduce ourselves and a little bit about our involvement at Nest Realty and what we love about it here. I will get started. Skip Slocum, and I've been a licensed realtor in the New River Valley since 2004, 17 years, and came to Nest in actually about within a week, about 7 years ago in 2014. So anyhow, I've been here 7 years and came here from kind of a different scenario in real estate. Was working with a nonprofit at that time, doing real estate services for them, and but had actually, prior to that experience, been with another company in the New River Valley as a realtor, and came to Nest after actually taking my broker classes with our fearless leader here, Jeremy Hart, our principal broker, and we were taking broker classes together in Roanoke at two separate firms, and he had just asked me, why did you get out of kind of being an individual sales agent and going into the nonprofit realm, and it was largely influenced by, if you were paying attention to the market from 2008 to maybe 2012, there was very little activity, and it was just a unique opportunity at the time that served me well then. But long story short, Jeremy invited me to the old Nest office downtown Blacksburg, and to just kind of check things out. He left it at that, and when I did visit, from the moment I walked in the door, I just felt like there, as we got to talking there, I just learned a lot more about the company, kind of how they differed, what set them apart, and I had actually intended to potentially go back to another brokerage, but was swayed this way, and could not be happier for the decision I made. It was, looking back at it now, I think there was, a pretty distinct curve in my business production from coming to Nest Realty then compared to what it had been prior. So. But enough about me and how I got here and came to be. I'm really excited to introduce this person to my left, your right, I imagine. Peg Warren. I reached out to her a little bit ago about partnering up, and could not be more excited that she was enthusiastically on board with the idea, and so here we are. Now let her take it away.
Thank you, Skip. Hi, I'm Peg Warren. And I'm new to the team and to Nest, but I'm super excited. It's been a good change so far. I'm super excited about the future. A little bit about my background. I went to Virginia Tech in the 90s, studied marketing, met my husband there, and we moved away for a little while and returned in 2000 so he could go to grad school. And like what happens to a lot of people, we just never left, and we just love it here. I worked in marketing and was a real estate assistant for 10 years before I took the plunge and became a realtor in 2016. So I've been doing it for 5 years now, and I love it. It's awesome. I plan to do it until I retire, hopefully, in 20 years. And I just love working with people and helping them through the whole home buying and selling process. It's difficult, it's exciting, it's fun, and I love getting to know my clients and assisting them. I love houses. I love talking about houses. I love showing houses. It's a really fun part of it too. When Skip approached me, I wasn't looking for a change, but when he first approached me, it was probably the easiest decision I made. It was kind of a no-brainer. We've known each other for years, and we've had a few transactions, and they've always gone super smoothly. I feel like we have a very similar manner. We complement each other, and we're very community-minded, and it was always fun to have him on the other side of the transaction. So when he first approached me, it was like, oh yeah, this will be great. And it really didn't take a lot of thought on my part. I feel like he's got so much more experience. I can learn so much from him. And I've always been intrigued with Nest as well. I've been really excited about all their marketing stuff. And so it's been a good change.
I have to say that when I reached out to her, I truthfully did not have a backup plan as to regarding a potential other teammate. So at any rate, when I reached out to her, I was obviously hoping that she would be on board with it, and if not, I was just going to have to go back to the drawing board. But kind of coming to this point, it's been a long time coming. Jeremy, our broker, has been talking to me for a while about the need to expand and bring on a colleague just to help. We have a very unique market now. It's been this way for a few years, that it's just an ultra competitive market, very time consuming, especially when we're buyer heavy. The time commitment is substantially more, and so in order to really be accommodating to a larger audience, we just needed more help, to put it simply. And so I just really feel good about this, in that in a fast-paced market, when things come on, buyers sometimes aren't afforded a day or two to think about it. They have to be able to act quickly, be ready to jump, ready to meet at a house, look at it quickly before the property's gone. Speaking the obvious here, but I thought this would also be helpful for both of us to be able to just, if I'm out showing property and someone needs to get into a property, or vice versa, that they're not having to wait on availability and potentially missing a great opportunity. I just never want to be the reason between why someone does or doesn't get a home. So, and in terms of how I, why I reached out to Peg initially, was just looking back at transactions I've had with fellow agents. I'm fortunate to say that the majority of transactions we have are all positive, but the ones that I've had with Peg have really stood out. And kind of to her point earlier, just really working well together. I remember the first transaction we had, it was, again, similar market, multiple offer situation. I was on the listing side of this one, and the offer that she brought, I just really was impressed by just how she strategically structured the offer to, A, make it very competitive, but B, at the same time, making it competitive, really to win out, but at the same time not risking, or creating a liability, or getting reckless, as sometimes it can happen, where people will waive more than they need to waive in a particular real estate transaction, just with the hopes of being the chosen one. So, she was the winner. She and her clients were the winning bid of that one. But I just really liked how kind of she thought creatively and outside of the box, and we've had subsequent transactions, and it was just more of the same. So it was an obvious choice for me. And so in terms of teaming up, as I touched on earlier, I really feel like it's an opportunity for both of us to just better serve our clients, and in particular buyer clients in this market, where we can always be active and ready, and ready to act, and then just not having a situation where a certain client's needs can't be serviced. So
we have a couple questions. First one is for Skip. What's the biggest thing you're excited about in 2021 NRV real estate market?
Biggest thing I'm excited about in the 2021 real estate market? I feel like it's going to be more of the same. I do feel like, just in the last week or so, we've seen a slight jump in inventory, so I'm hopeful that we'll see more of that, and interest rates staying low. I do think it's still going to be competitive, but I'm just excited about the continued. Let me back up a second. A lot of the buyers that are looking in this market tend to be coming from other areas as well, and one of the things I really love to do is just show off what makes the New River Valley great, and introducing people to our wonderful area, and just staying active, and yeah. Sorry.
Awesome. Next question goes to Peg. How's the transition to Nest been in a really hyper competitive, fast-paced market? What has this brokerage brought to you, to be competitive in this market, in this space?
It's been a great change. It feels like it's a nice small community, which I really appreciate. Everybody's been super welcoming. And I think I had said before, I've always been intrigued with Nest, so it's been very easy to transition over to here. And one thing about Nest is just amazing, their marketing, and as a marketing background, I'm really impressed and excited about it. The Friends of Nest program and mailings, all of the signage, everything stands out. And so I've just really been impressed with seeing all of those resources and being able to have the access to it now is just been awesome.
And to touch, I guess sometimes you always think of things after you say them. But going back to the previous question too, I mean, missed the obvious, just one of the most exciting things is to kind of start the year with a new structure, being able to team, just the last few weeks that we've been working together, regular meetings, and just being creative together and coming up with new ways to approach a very challenging market is actually kind of fun. Sometimes a competitive market can be stressful. That's a given, but just the ways in which we react to it, it's sometimes it's challenging, but I think challenge can be fun and keeps it exciting. It's never the same day twice. So.
Yeah, I appreciate having you as a resource too and bouncing ideas off of each other. That's been awesome.
One more question came in. On the buyer side, should buyers be wary that these rates aren't going to last long term, or do you think it's going to be a trend for a while?
I think it will be a trend for a while. I mean, looking at the numbers in the rear view, I mean, we've been below 4% for about a decade now, and whereas I feel like a broken record every time we talk about interest rates. We're talking about we're at historic lows, and it just seems like the more we progress in this market, the more historic these lows are getting. But looking at when I bought my first house in 2002. Thinking I got a wonderful interest rate, it was 6.75, and at that time it was a great interest rate. But at any, no pun intended, but at any rate, I don't see that changing anytime soon. To answer the question, and just like I said, we've had just kind of a long, steady, favorable environment in that regard. All right. Well, seeing no other questions, we do thank you for joining us. It's kind of a rainy but still lovely day here at the Nest. And if you haven't been aware, I did actually just reach out to someone for a meeting, and they came to our old location. We've been here for a little bit, but we're at 118 Country Club Drive, the old Radio Shack building alongside of Kroger here. So stop by at any time. We'd love to see you.